Mike and John have planned the dive to coincide with ebb tide. James Delgado wants to retrace the pattern in which Sophia swung and broke apart on the reef on the day she went to the bottom.
Here, Mike, is the position of the Sophia. She came down and hit the reef. What we know now is that she's gone down around on to the western side of the reef and tipped to her starboard side. You've got your bow.
John and James review the specifics of the dive plan with Mike.
Mike, a couple of things that we're not quite clear on yet that we're going to have to sort out. It's just how much she pivoted. There's some indication...
They will be looking for the double hull features in which Captain Locke had put so much faith.
Obviously, a couple of things that we're going to be looking for down there are, particularly on the bottom around the keel, is some evidence of the damage to the hull. There's some supposition that as this thing twisted and tore, that she ripped her bottom out, and that would explain the rapid sinking process.
The water is just above freezing. Slowly, he descends to the stricken wreck.
What's the picture?
See the downline. We can see the downline clearly.
Roger, light to the camera.
Flash the diver.
There below is a large mass of wreckage that once was the Princess Sophia. It is encrusted with white sea anemones.
On bottom.
Roger, diver on bottom.
And what's the diver's pressure?
I've got you at just about 100 feet, and I've got you at about 2,900 pounds PSI.
Oh, Roger. Okay, Jim, there's the steering wheel.
Mike, that's the stern wheel. I can't believe it.
But it's definitely the steering wheel, whether it's the auxiliary wheel off the stern or possibly the one from the wheelhouse. It's not where it should be, that's for sure.
I would agree. It's hard to say. There's so much damage to the superstructure that this could be some shifted debris from the wheelhouse.
Eventually I'll try and make my way around so we can get good images of where the wreck contacted the bottom, exactly where the hull was in contact with the reef.
Okay, yeah, I've got you coming right up to a hatchway of some sort, an entrance I can see down inside.
Mike has found a large hole in the side of the wreck.
Okay, do you have any idea where that would be on the ship?
I get the sense that we're somewhere around amidships, maybe moving aft, Mike.
I'll try and get in a little closer and see what we can see here.
Standing by.
Mike decides to enter the wreck.
Now, what do you make of that?
Well, it looks like you popped your way into the hull, and I'm seeing more clear indication we're on our side. Bulkheads have given way, but there's fixtures here. It's pretty clear we're inside the wreck now, and you didn't have to go through a small hole, did you?
No, it's typical what's down here.
Something that looks like a stanchion of some sort there? What is that?
It's my feeling that this is part of a brass handrail.
Yeah, roger that. I see that. That's exactly what it is. Oh, Mike, are those shoes? Look at that. He's got the soles of shoes.
Well, just the sole of one. Definitely a shoe.
The sole of a shoe. A grim reminder of one of the over 350 people who lost their lives here.
Okay, now, yeah, good. That's a toilet in there. You've come back to that area.
Mike attempts to identify his position on the wreck. Knowing this will help the team calculate his proximity to sections of the double hull.
I don't think, no, it's not the same washroom even.
Mike, you clearly found that site, which is just, from the looks of the plans here, it is just aft of a midship. Mike, in the area that you're in now, there seem to be quite a number of plates which look as if you're... we're looking at a flattened area of hull. Can you identify whether or not that's what we're looking at?
It really is difficult to make sense of just how it's connected or making contact with the bottom there. I'll just explore around the ship a bit.
Roger that, I understand. Why don't you head up towards that engine room area?
Mike attempts to identify his position on the wreck. Knowing this will help the team calculate his proximity to sections of the double hull.
We'll head towards the boilers.
These cranks look big, Mike. I mean, I think, yeah, I see what you're talking about as a generator, but I'm seeing main steam pipes. I'm seeing back up there. Yeah, look right there. See that big crank? You are in the engineering space. You're in the engine room.
I don't question after a minute.
There are, you can see areas of the turn of the bilge, and you can see...
Finally, the team locates a large section of the double hull. Here they see that both the inner and outer sections have sustained massive damage. It was here at the inner section of the double hull where the captain's hope of rescue was betrayed.
Mike, if you can work your way outside the hull now, we'd like to see you try to trace and move forward.
Okay, Jim, that's not a problem. Up my hose.
Roger that, up your hose.
Okay, I'm moving outside the ship.
Now knowing where the damaged section of the double hull is from the inside, Mike makes his way to the same section of the vessel to examine the exterior.
We'll go to bottom.
Mike is looking for evidence of the tearing process that would have ripped the hull to shreds.
Okay, you can see I'm actually trying to make my way right up underneath the hull.
Mike, it looks like you're right at the turn of the bilge on what would be the port side, and that she is on her starboard side, over.
That certainly is my impression, John. I must be very, very close to the stern here.
Okay, Mike, I see you there. You're at the stern now. We're showing you depth at 140. That's a propeller blade, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, Jim. Right here, if at a glance, you wouldn't even recognize it. There's just the one bucket sticking out of the bottom here.
Are there segments of the keel available to you visually anywhere, Mike? Over.
Well, let's see if we can get to them. Maybe we're going to see it on the port side.
Mike, just go a little bit to the left.
Finally, the team has found what they've been looking for. Strong evidence that Sophia was violently torn from the reef.
Bingo, right there. Yeah, Mike, you see that girder, the way that's twisted, that hull plating. That kind of force, I don't think that we're seeing something that happened in years since she's been on the reef. That looks like it was sinking damage.
If that is hull plate, what we have is clearly a substantial amount of trauma to the hull in that particular area.
It's so badly broken. But I do get the impression that the ship is shifted towards, so that the stern is swinging towards the south. And as it did, you can see some of the metal has been pulled that way, as if it's pulled back to the starboard, which would indicate that the stern would have swung to the south.
Well, I agree. I concur. I'm seeing clear evidence that this thing has ground into the reef, and she has certainly twisted and pulled.